People, welcome back to the channel. Today has been kind of a slow day when in terms of just like news. I think yesterday when the whole Osimhen news broke about like a potential deal, I was kind of hoping today would have a lot more development, but unfortunately that hasn't been the case. But we still have a game going on today. We're playing Club America. And for me, what I really would want to see is like, has there been, any so but from the first, second game, I'd want to see if anything is different today. I'd want to see what the starting lineup is going to look like, what the defensive shape is going to look like. Again, this is preseason, so this is the time for us to, you know, iron out a lot of these, early mistakes, get some continuity going on. Just, get some of these players to start picking up some match fitness, sharpness, and like when we did lose to Celtic, I know a lot of people were kind of going crazy over it. Um, so I think for me, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna exaggerate these results. Yeah, we lost, but I think 2 weeks training is not really going to be the end all be all. So I'm excited about the game coming. And I think it should be, I think it should still be a competitive game. I think later on we have United playing Betis. I think Liverpool play Arsenal today. So I'm definitely watching these games. And if any of these rivals lose with the way they've been kind of crushing it on us for a bit, it's going to be interesting for me. So we'll see.
So man,
What's going on? How you feeling?
how's it going? What we talking about? What's this
We're
game?
talking about like the preseason game coming up with Club America. I started by saying like for me, I'm not gonna lose my head over the first two games. Really, I mean, it's
Mm.
preseason, but at least in this game and the upcoming games, I want to see kind of like what the shape is gonna look like. I want to see if there are going to be any differences between the first and second game to the third game. It's only been 2 weeks, but this is when you want to see people like pick up on some sharpness, fitness, and just see how this team is going to gel. But on the transfer side, like it's kind of been real slow today. So I thought the Osimhen news was going to like really kick on this morning, but it's been quiet. So, but first of all, welcome to the channel. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you, thank you.
I appreciate you being here. I just got back in from work and I was like, yeah, we got some time before the game goes on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think I've ever gone. The only live streams I ever did were kind of the watch alongs. So this is like the official introduction. So how you feeling? How you feeling
Gotcha,
about
gotcha.
everything that's been happening in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. Thanks for having
Of
me.
course.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm kind of the same mindset. I think the starting game's gonna be big, especially because Caicedo's back. We saw that Enzo was back, so that's two players who presumably are going to be playing a lot of the Premier League season as starters. So that's gonna be big to see how they adapt in the midfield because we kind of saw that in the last two games, the midfield was pushing up very high into the highline. So what ended up happening was like the defenders were just left, like the back three were just kind of left on an island by themselves when the ball went over the top. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they get included and how they adapt to Maresca's system.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to see after now. It's been a week since the last game, so definitely want to see more discipline in terms of positioning from the defense and the midfield that he decides to send out. Because for me, that was a big issue. I think every single attack that happened in the second game was same thing. They stole the ball from the middle to the side,
And
then
we
the
can.
wingers ball over the top, and we were open. That was every single play. It was a rinse and repeat. So I hope to see that cleaned up because that'll
Okay.
show me and give me hope that tactically he's able to learn and adapt, and the players are able to learn from him and adapt. Because that's something we didn't see under Pochettino. We saw the same things happen again and again. He didn't really make any tactical updates to his plan. They're just kind of sending them out there. The plan was just to like basically hit on the counter every single time, pace, steal the ball in their half. So that's what I'm hoping to see from this match.
Okay. Now I got a question for you because I was listening to this stream on my way home, and it had to do with the whole like if Poch had stayed, we would have had, I guess, a way of it would have been a lot better next year in terms of he's been here for a whole year. You know, we
Mhm.
picked up some form
Yeah.
from close to the end of the season, and we kind of finished sixth. We were like a point behind Spurs. Now, the argument was if Poch had stayed with his team, arguably we would have gotten top four. But then since he's not here, we're not going to be able to get top four. So for me, I couldn't understand the logic because I it's the same squad that we still have. So how like if you listen to someone say if Poch had stayed here, you would have gotten top four. But with Maresca, you're probably gonna finish eighth. What will be your response to that?
I would just disagree. I think that would be true if Poch was an actual coach. But I think as we learned from the comments, from what Caicedo even said too, is like in Brighton, it was a lot of tactical play. It was a lot of practicing like what formations we're gonna have during different phases of the game. But he's like, when we use Poch practice, is all physicals, all a lot of running. So
Mm-hmm.
what that tells me is that the players didn't go out with a game plan in the first place, and if they went out with no tactical game plan and
Mm-hmm.
still ended up getting close to fourth,
Mm-hmm.
I think under a manager who does have a game plan, who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't literally run them ragged the day before a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what came out. That apparently the hardest practices were the day before the game, which
Right.
would also make sense as to why second half we always came out super slow and they would
Mm-hmm.
usually score. I mean, I think there was that one statistic where like if the Prem ended with results in the first half, we would
We
be top
probably be
four.
in the top,
Yeah.
right?
So for me, like all the negatives that Poch took away, and also let's be honest, Poch like through his practices there was a lot of injuries last season. So I think this season with a better coach, with the players
Mhm.
having a game plan, with first team starters like Nkuku, Lavia, people who would definitely be in rotation,
Mhm.
actually being available now, I think top four is easily achievable. I don't think it's something that is crazy to say, and I think people who say that are like, I don't know what coaching they saw from Poch to
Mhm.
make them believe that it was his system that somehow got us close to fourth. It was the players.
So the whole Poch thing was like we saw evident based on the last 5 games we won. I think all 5 games,
Mm-hmm.
and all it took was tweaking the system and putting Cucurella inverted.
Yep.
So then, for me the argument is now we have someone who actually plays that system, right, with an inverted
Yeah.
fullback and still trying to keep that whole box midfield. So if you're gonna tell me if Poch stayed here, we're gonna make top four, but then we're still gonna use the same system that we finished the season with again, I wouldn't say a better coach only because we've not really seen the body of work from Maresca. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a gamble either way, but surely someone who looks like who's going to coach, wouldn't you then argue that we're still most likely going to see a better return in terms of like results, fitness, and just a better structure to the team?
Yeah, I think we will for
But
sure.
so then I just like I guess like rivals really do want to like crush it on you, and then I just can never understand why it's like yeah, keep Poch. I think your season would have been better. But if you ask a lot of these guys, will they take Poch at their team? They're probably going to tell you probably not.
Mm-mm.
And I look at this team and it's
Mm.
built for, in my opinion, I think this team is built for like tactical, technical players. Like these ain't run,
100%.
right? These are not runners. These are guys who are comfortable in possession. These are guys who can actually keep the other team running while we hold the ball, we move it as fast as possible, and we could just get results. But this whole Poch debate, the fact that it's still here till today, kind of really pisses me off sometimes.
Mm.
Only
Agreed.
because like us Chelsea fans tell United keep Ten Hag it because we know why.
Ten Hag in 10 more years, bro.
Thank you very much. We say that all the time because I know for
Hmm.
a fact with him being there, the chances of them just being boring, not progressive enough, just looking really bad, the chances are always there. Yes, he's won two, trophies back to back, and you can't even fault that. But can you imagine if United had gotten like even a De Zerbi? Because again, he's one of those guys. Like I think he divides opinions just
Mhm.
because again he coached Brighton and Shakhtar Donetsk. But you could just when you watch his teams play, you know what's coming. You see the foundation. You can understand exactly how they're going to approach the game. Now, if you give someone a team like Man United, I'm sorry. Regardless of his experience, I think he will do a lot better than Ten Hag does.
Yep.
With those kinds of players, I think United would have definitely been a problem. So when we didn't get him, I was kind of happy he went straight to France because, yeah, no lie, with the players they have, I think he does a lot better than Ten Hag. So for me, look, I'd rather this Poch debate be dead, but again, people don't let it be. They keep bringing it up. So now my question to you is: you look at this team we have right now. Realistically, where do you think we can finish?
Realistically,
Yeah.
I think I think a lot depends on a couple factors because I think are we strong enough to finish in top four? I think yes. I think the only thing that might stop us is going to be how big, in my opinion, the growing pains are at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
That's why for me, that's why I said this third game I want to start seeing some of the holes being filled up.
Okay.
Um, because because we look at Liverpool also going to be under a new coach, right? So they're also kind of there. We look at Newcastle fell off from when they were last season, but we don't know what's going to happen now. I think there's a lot of question marks around a lot of clubs right now. I think the only solid ones that you can say are going to be 100% in the top four is going to be Arsenal, Man City. Like they're
Mhm.
not predicted to have a huge fall off. They're going to stick with the same coaches, same players. But everybody else somehow is going to have like a big shock to the system in terms of a big change happening at the club, ingoings or outgoings. So I think we could get top four. I think it depends to see what happens with other teams. I mean, for me personally, for example, I'm glad that Spurs aren't signing anybody. They're not doing anything in the market. That for me, that makes our top four chances that much better. That they're not
True.
making any moves. Liverpool, same thing, making zero moves in the market. Better for our top four chances because I
Mhm.
think our team is very solid. I think we finally have good depth now with all the injuries out of the way. We have good depth. We have a lot of places to move around. I think if we get Osimhen, bro, that'll be excellent. I think that covers a lot of bases because now we can have Jackson sub in as a striker, sub in as a left wing. We have a lot of more versatility to
Okay.
play around with. Yeah, I think we can get top four, five, 4, 5. Like for me, I think top four at this point is necessary.
I
Like
think it is. I really.
realistically, can we get top four? Yes, but there's a chance we don't. I have to be honest. There's a chance we don't. But if we're talking about what the club needs, we need top four. With the wages we're going, with everything, with the way that everything is going, like we desperately need to be back in Champions League as soon as possible.
So then, take Osimhen out of the picture.
Mm,
Who and what positions do you feel like? Because I know we've already said like the left wing position in
yeah.
Joey's stream, but if you look at this team right now, what do you think we're probably missing from going from like sixth to maybe like fourth and third? Like in your opinion?
In my opinion. So yeah, so for me, like I think attacking wise, as we saw last season, I'm not too worried, especially now that we're adding in Kunku to the equation. Um, I don't think I'm that worried about goal scoring like 2 seasons ago, where we were so desperate for any type of goal scoring activity to happen. Like the ball was just not going in the back of the net. I don't think that was the case last season. But I think what really messed us up last season was the defense.
Very much so.
Um, and I think that that's going to be, in my opinion, what makes or breaks the season that's upcoming, whether we get top four or not, is how solid our defense is going to be. And that's why for me, if you're talking about positions that I'm worried about, one is goalkeeper. I'm sorry, I don't trust Sanchez, bro. I don't. Like
Did we
every
get
time
like Jorgensen Endo? I think we got a new goalie in,
yeah,
right?
that's why I told everybody when the signing happened, I told everybody Jorgensen is our number one goalkeeper because Sanchez is not making the season. He's not
So
playing the entire season.
for people who've never seen Jorgensen, because we all just watch, comps of, players that we don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
So unless someone tells me, I watch La Liga, religiously, I can tell you exactly what what do you expect from that position? Because we've seen Sanchez over a season. That Arsenal game till today
Blood on his hands.
still
Blood on his hands, bro.
that game still haunts me till today. And it's just been a bunch of other games where dude, I don't know what he be thinking sometimes, but
He
it's
shit. I literally, by the way,
Yeah.
if you go back to if you go back to Lewis's stream on the live stream, I was saying I don't like Sanchez because I've seen him throughout the entire season last season.
Yeah.
If he sees a defender, right, and he's playing off the back, he sees that the defender there's two players,
And he
two
still
attackers
plays it.
pressuring him. He specifically always plays the ball into the defender that has two people attacking. And literally, I think 5 minutes later, he did the exact same thing.
Yo, so that Arsenal game, I think I just think the bragging rights we would have had from just that game. And I think on some level, I believe if we had won that game, we probably would have went on to win a few games on the row. Just
Agreed.
because like we would have just carried that momentum in. We haven't how long when was the last time we beat Arsenal?
That's a great question, and that's a
I
great
think
question
that was
as
like
well.
when Lukaku came back to the team.
Yeah,
When we
honestly,
beat
it's
them
been
at
a
the
hot
Emirates.
minute.
I think so, something like that, right? So it had been
Yeah,
a long time, and we're leading to nothing. And Sanchez just does the most bozo. I mean,
it's just brain dead. It was just brain dead. That's what it was.
what? Yo,
Like he makes an awful pass and then gets caught out of position because if the goalie, any goalie in the right position saves that shot from Rice, but he's already on the back foot, so it goes over. Like
you can't even save that because his positioning alone was
yeah,
also awful too.
and another thing too that I mentioned this as well is something that I don't like about Sanchez. I remember, and this is also an issue that I had with Petrovic as well, is that they get beat near post more
A
than I'm
lot.
comfortable with. More than I'm comfortable with.
See, for me, Petrovic, I would have kept it. It's weird because I don't see them selling Sanchez instead of Petro, but I would
Agreed.
have kept him instead of Sanchez. Just
100%.
because he's a much better shot stopper anyway. And the whole Sanchez is a good ball player. He's not.
He's not. Please, last game. This is my thing too. Is like if you're a good goal playing, like ball playing goalkeeper, even when you're clearing the ball, you clear
Yeah.
it into a more dangerous position. For example, I watched the Copa America, right? Emi Martinez. Every time he cleared the ball, he at least tried to clear it in a way where an attacker might be able to get to it, where a defender might have to be on the back foot to receive it, so an attacker could get there in time. But Sanchez just hoofed it literally to the corner flag out, like at a diagonal that was like didn't even make it past halfway, like. He's just not good. I don't know where this myth came from that he's a good ball playing keeper, bro.
I think it was the whole Brighton thing that fooled us, man. It had to be, when I think he played when Graham Porter was there, and of course they still played some good football. So I think maybe that's really what it was. But every time I've seen this guy try to go long, short, it's going outside, it's going everywhere but where it's supposed to be. So then, do you think Jorgensen is because people talk about his ball playing ability, all of that good stuff? Do you think that's someone that can take us from where we're at right now, even a position, down?
I think I think for me, then this is going back to the earlier point I made where if I think we're going to keep the same goal production, if not a bit more than last season.
Mm.
So with Sanchez, I think every time we see Sanchez play, and even last season, you can tell that the defense is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very obvious with the way that they position, with the way that they react, with the way that they ask for the ball. They're not comfortable and they don't trust him. That's why when Petrovic came in, we saw such an immediate change because Sanchez just wasn't there. And that's why we accepted him with a lot more opening, like welcome arms, because we just knew that the defense wouldn't be as shaky with him there. So I think with Jorgensen, it's a risk. And I think that, again, that falls on the sporting directors. Because
Get this guy out of here. That's
we got Sanchez, who's a brick, and then we got Petrovic, who, if we were always going to go for a manager that wanted to play the ball possession based,
he wasn't going to be a good fit.
He was never going to be it. And now we got Jorgensen, who's unproven, right? So for me, this is strike three, and this is the same thing I'm on with the manager with Maresca. Like for the sporting directors, this is your strike three, and you're out.
Yeah, I think if it goes really bust for us in terms of just Maresca and we don't do well, I think they gotta go.
Agreed.
Like they all have to pack up and just be out of here. Because in as much as like I like some of the signings they've made and all that good stuff, dude, it's been like 2 years. Like, yeah, we made a final last year, we got to a semifinal, but this whole recruitment policy for me is so weird. Because every day you wake up, there's a 16-year-old being signed, there's a 17-year-old being signed. And I get it because you're trying to build a team where you're buying these guys young now. however you're going to develop them, you do that. And then later on, you could either flip them or they can join into the team. But it's kind of like, 2 years of mediocrity. We want to have some sort of like a standard, right? And I
Yeah.
know people keep saying, Roman's time is gone. Yes, even when Roman was still here, it was still shit sometimes. Like some of the signings we made when Roman was here, they they just made no sense. Drinkwater, Zappacosta, Higuain, like just to name a few examples. These were like terrible signings, right? So I understand when you come in and you come into a whole new team, you just bought the team, you're going to make mistakes. But then how long do you keep making those same mistakes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 2 years, I think that's enough. Probably that should be the last season where it's like, all right, we have to see some sort of like progression. We don't have to be
Hmm.
as awful as we are and whatnot. But I wanted to touch on the Euro situation with Man United because when Ineos started really making moves, they signed Euro, they signed Xerxes. United fans were really confident about the season.
Yeah.
From get Ten Hag out of here too. We're cooking, right? And
Yeah.
again, you look at Xerxes' stats. Did he have more than like 12, league goals in Serie A? Probably not, right? I think
No,
he
I
had
don't
only
think
like
so.
10 or 9. So that wouldn't have been a signing where I would have said, you're cooking. But now that Euro's injured for a while now, do you see them trying to get De Ligt? And even if they did get De Ligt, say Euro didn't get injured, where would you have placed United's season if you had to just predict where they were going to finish?
Um, do we also have any news on the Hoyland injury? Is that because he also went off injured?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen anything. I'm gonna have to like look it up, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure how long Hoyland is going to be out for. Let's see.
because that might be a big thing too, to be honest. Yeah, but while you're looking, just to like answer the question, I think to be honest, we're pretty much gonna see the same thing that we saw last season under Man U, except I don't think it's going to be necessarily as bad as it was before. I think you're going to
Mhm.
see results where it's a stinky 1-0 and they steal the game, or they somehow lose the game in the final minutes again. Because I think Ten Hag isn't changing the structure, and I think I I mean I was editing the video for Staffy TV, for the vlog that he did, and just looking at the points that he made, it just seems like it's the same thing. Like they don't have players who are very technical on the ball.
Mhm.
The team is just very inconsistent throughout the game. Like they maybe have two phases in the game where they're doing really, really well, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but other than that, like they just fade away. So I think to be honest, they might finish around the same position. And it might be like even worse if there are teams that somehow, that unexpectedly do better than they're supposed to, which happens every season. But I just don't see any signs because for me, I think Lenny Yor is a good player, but he's a
Okay.
young promise. He's not a needle mover. So like, is he gonna be the one that takes them? Is the Ligt really gonna be the one that takes them from where they finished into top four?
I
Like I don't
think
see that.
so I think some of their fans really thought that um I guess just like when you get new signings and the potential that he might have come, he might have came
Mhm.
into the club, but it's like I always felt they needed more just in terms of even the midfield, right? Because
Mm.
instead of signing Xerxes, I would have instead went for like an Ivan Tony. Because this whole thing I hear Xerxes can
100%
play.
agreed.
He could have played in multiple positions. He can play as a 10, he can play on the wing, but you sign him to be a forward. If we're trying to get people not to essentially sub Joe,
So
What's
Joe,
good?
if we're trying to get people not to be played out of position, it's like, why not just get midfielders, get a striker instead of Xerxes? Because Tony can score you goals. But again,
hmm
the question for me has always been, why are other teams not going in for him?
Yeah, there has to be something there with Tony that people don't know about yet.
I was about to say,
Like,
I think there's definitely something in the background or something that is undisclosed as to why nobody has gotten him yet.
For me, it was always like, I know you play for Brentford and you're trying to leave, but damn, you can't keep violating your employees like that. Like if I can't talk to my
Yeah.
9 to 5 like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna talk mad crazy about my company, even though I'm like guaranteed to be there. It's just that's one of those things no big club will want to have. And also, like, he's someone who's getting up there in age. He's like what, 28? So
Yeah.
yes.
His image isn't that great. You know, I feel like that's like something Tottenham would take a gamble on just because they're Tottenham. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Tottenham's been pretty. It seems like they've been pretty locked in on him overall. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, by end of the window, we see that happening. But it really probably depends on if they can make sales. Like I'm just spitballing here. I think it's like because they want to get another winger as well. So I don't know. I think that this whole thing with Tony is just there's something there that we don't know, and like I'm kind of glad that we're not going to be involved because we got enough bad PR as it is.
Yeah, bro. Yep.
So with Arsenal now signing Calafiori,
hmm
official, he's training with the team. Was that a signing that needed to be done? Or should they have prioritized someone like a Gyökeres, for example? I don't know.
This whole Gyökeres thing, I'm still trying to figure out where these links are. People keep on talking about Gyökeres being linked to Arsenal. I've gone through Twitter 3 different times trying to find Arsenal to Gyökeres, the Arsenal links, and the only people that's saying them, bro, is fans. The only thing that's been said is from the fans. The fans want Gyökeres, and then I go and I listen to Curtis Shaw had a question for Arteta at the U.S. tour, and he asked him, "Are there going to be any other big signings?" And Arteta goes, most likely not. And Gyökeres' release clause is 100 million.
Yeah, it'd be a big signing.
That shit ain't happening, bro.
Yeah.
Like as much as these Arsenal fans believe it, it's Havertz and Jesus are the strikers. Like that's it.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's why
what they're
for
going
me,
into the season with.
and that's what they needed to reinforce. They needed wingers and they needed attack. That front three needed a revamp. They needed somebody. They either needed a winger, because they needed so many things. They needed a backup to Saka because they can't keep overplaying Saka. I think this season kind of showed that, like, if you play him League, Champions League, Cup games, he's just gonna gas out. And when we saw that towards the end of the season, like, he didn't have the output that they wish he would have had. But he was tired. Like, there's no other backup to him.
They're
They need a
using
striker
him like
backup.
he's Mo Salah, and he doesn't have the stamina of what Mo Salah
Thank
can
you. Exactly. Like, he's just not. He doesn't have the archetype that Mo Salah does as a player.
do.
And then
The body
second,
type is really what it is,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It's
doesn't.
it's like I don't know what Saka's personal life is, but like you can tell that in Salah's personal life and the way that he takes care of his body, like he can play every game. That's the thing. He can play every game.
And they needed an actual striker, not Havertz. I think that was also abundantly clear. They needed Gabriel Jesus, like a replacement for him. Like, I think that front three for me, not to replace Saka, they need Saka backup, but then the other two positions, I think left wing striker, they needed somebody of quality, and that's why I think they're not going to win the Premier League again. They're either going to get second, or worse, they might even get third.
I don't see anyone taking that second spot from Arsenal, only because, like, only Liverpool for me could have been like the most likely, like challenges for that position. But I think I don't think Liverpool fans sometimes realize like how Klopp really transformed that whole, club as a whole, right? I think Slot, I don't even know what he's going to do. But
it doesn't matter though, and in my opinion, it doesn't matter because they still have majority of their backbone still intact.
The core,
so
they got the core.
until that core is not intact anymore, like it's kind of like in the sense of like how we were with Drogba, Terry, and Lampard back in the day. Like it didn't matter what fucking
team was around them,
what owner, what manager it was. They had the ability to be successful, and like that's what it comes down to when it comes to Alisson, Van Dijk, and Salah. But do you have enough in the midfield to be able to compete with these other teams? Because in my opinion, the legs in the midfield, the defensive know-how in the midfield is very, very poor. And if they're going to play more possession ball, like it's only going to get worse on the transition for them, because then they just won't have the legs at all. They won't have the people at all in those areas. And you're going to leave Van Dijk in one-on-one scenarios again. And that's when he gets absolutely, dude, if they go and get a fullback if they go getting a fullback that gets forward and don't get a DM, like
they need a DM bad, bro. They need a DM bad.
They're so fucked.
And this is the thing. I think Liverpool. By the way, I think Liverpool has one more season with that backline, and I think people will start to leave. I think Salah is definitely leaving. I don't think he's staying like 2-3 more years. Like, I think he's definitely leaving. Like I just think they're gonna slowly get picked apart. I think that's what's gonna happen. People are gonna want to move on, and they're gonna start a new process.
I feel like there's going to be a drop just because, like, I know the spine is still there, right, and they still have the quality. But now you're going from like the holy grail to someone who's just come in. Now, just looking at how the style of play and how they play, you know, I said this even with Poch, like we had the squad. It's just the application really wasn't there. Yeah. So the same thing that happened to us, I feel like potentially could happen to them, only because now you have to learn a whole different kind of like formation. And as good as some of your players could be individually, and if you have like 4, you know, high class quality players, cool, they can carry you through. But if the application is not there, and now they're all kind of like, yo, what are we doing here? We used to play a certain way. Now we're being asked to play a completely different way. And then if results are not coming in, Klopp's man management was A1. So now if results are not coming in, can Slot get you that extra bit of like push just with how he interacts with his players? So that's, for me, I think that's one of the biggest keys that they're most likely going to miss. Like, it's not even about the quality on the pitch. I think it's just the off pitch, the personality. Because in as much as we can clown Klopp for like always wanting to hug his players and like always wanting to talk to them when, you know, they feel some type of way, these are the things that kind of build that mentality. Like, these guys were ready to die for this guy, yo. Yeah. That's how serious it was. So I just think taking that element away, they'll still have a good season. Hell, they might even have a better season. We don't even know. But for me, I think it's something they don't really kind of like analyze, because every time it's just, let's crush it on Chelsea because they've spent the bill and they're still dusty. So it's going to be very interesting to see how their season goes. Again, they've not made any signings yet. So, and
it doesn't look like they're going to make any signings period right now.
Yep. That's what is there literally any links, bro? I haven't heard of even a single link. It's like a big signing for Liverpool.
Well, they talked about the whole Anthony.
They're the only team in the top 5 that haven't made a signing.
That's tough.
That's damning, bro.
That's tough. So what about this whole like Connor essentially saying, I'm going to take my time, pick the best option for me, and then I'm going to decide. Like, how do y'all feel about this right now?
I mean, I think he's leaving. I think they're forcing him out, which is fine because I don't think that he should be allowed to run down his contract. That's some bull. As far as we know, like a couple months ago, like they were in contract negotiations. He wanted more than they were willing to give him, which is understandable. Like if you look at the team, like Conor Gallagher is not a necessity. It was for Poch, but look at how we did under Poch. Like, let's be honest. I think what's happening right now is the news that came out that like Tottenham are looking to kind of hijack and put in their bid. Which, if by all means we manage to somehow create a bidding war for Conor Gallagher, like, I don't know what mojo Chelsea has to like sell mid players for such high amounts of money, but I'll take it, bro. A bidding war for Conor Gallagher, bro, I'll take it.
People are gonna hate on this, you know. Like, one of the biggest things is, we spend money, but we can sell really well. Like, if you could sell Conor for any more than Arsenal just got for Smith Rowe,
bro. This is the thing. We sold Havertz. Arsenal didn't win the league. We sold Mason Mount. Brother was gone the whole season. He was with the doctors the whole season. Like it really isn't. And we sold them for way higher than I thought they would go, and we cleared them out immediately. Now, the only if we get rid of Lukaku, Gallagher, and Chilwell, bro, it looks like Chilwell's not going because it seems like nobody's in for him. Sadly, but it looks like Connor's going, man. I think the couple days he's gonna take to think about it is just
Yeah.
waiting to see, because I think Tottenham kind of reached out and was like, hey, we're gonna put a bid in.
I mean, you could wait out. You only have a year. You can decide to wait out if you want to. But then the question is, you're not going to play. You're probably going to be made to train
Nope.
alone all year. It's by then, I don't think a lot of these teams will probably look at you anymore because there might be a better option on the market now. Right now, this is when you can you came off a great season, you can cash in on that.
Yep.
In as much as he lacked certain things we needed in this team, when he went into the deeper positions, we were cooking. And unfortunately for him, if he only had Enzo's technicality in terms of just being able to pass a ball forward, progress play, we would not be selling this guy because every other thing he does is important. Like when we needed someone to just clean up in midfield, tackle. I mean, man mark people out of these games. Man City, for a great example, he had great games against Rodri last year. So these are intangibles you can add, but it's kind of looking like that's all you can do.
Yeah, it's tough because I think if you really look at last season, this is a problem that me and so many other people had, is that anytime we were on the counter or we were attacking and we were in a good position and the ball got to Connor, it was backwards it's like sideways pass. He could never do like a half turn and look to see if anybody's ahead of him. He couldn't do that filtered ball through. And that's why we were also frustrated to not see Palmer in the 10. Because if Palmer was in those positions that Connor
I
was
feel
finding
like we
himself
would have done
in,
a lot better.
exactly.
We definitely would have did a lot better. But also,
Bro,
I
if
think
we had Nkunku last year, we would have got top 4. In
Bro,
a lot of
don't remind me.
much.
Don't remind me, bro. If we had Nkunku last season, I think so many games would have gone differently that I can't even count. I can't even count how many games if
I
we had
think
Nkunku.
Nkunku wins is like 3 games on his own. Even if he could just give me 6 goals in a season, I guarantee you that's like 6-7 points we can get out of a season.
Yep.
That's how good he is for me.
And I think that's literally enough for top 4, no? With the way that the table ended.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? If we're fifth, or the way we ended?
With the way the Premier League table ended last season,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that amount of points literally would have gotten us.
Because we finished one point behind
5
Spurs.
points off.
And
5 points off, yeah. So 5 points off. So 2 wins, which for me are the bottom 2 teams that we lost against. If we won against them, which I
Bro,
think
we
it
got
sorta helped,
robbed the refs robbed us against Villa.
Villa. Oh yeah, that was some bullshit, bro.
Wait,
That was
how
some
many
bullshit.
points did we finish off Spurs? Wasn't it 1? Because we just needed
One we finished 1
One,
point
bro.
behind Spurs, bro.
Thank you.
1
That,
and 5 off Villa, bro. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we got robbed
and
against Villa though. Joey's
2
100%
of those
right.
points could have been against.
We got
Sheffield
robbed
United.
against Villa.
Yeah, because they were like he interfered, bro. They were both going for the ball, and
There was no fucking interference. There was no nothing. That was a
bro.
goal.
He's just stronger than him. That's what it was. He was just stronger than him. So
Yeah,
he
he
bodied
just
him. That's what
bodied his
happens. Yeah. No, that was some bullshit, bro. And I was so upset. I was so happy when the goal went in, bro. Ah, man.
I have so much work to do tomorrow.
Trying to see if there we go. So for tonight's game, guys, we have how we might potentially line up for this game. So I want you guys to essentially tell me who you're going to start from back to front. Who you want to see, who you don't want to see, who you think we're going to see, and how we win this game.
All right,
So that we don't get relegated. Already it's looking like we're going to get relegated from the new season. So
Is there any news on if Jackson is going to play it or no? Because as far as I heard, like he
I don't think so, bro.
was still practicing. Now then it's Mark Gui up top. They're doing Mark again up top for
so
sure.
we're going to start you for sure
Yeah,
up there.
for sure.
Okay. All right.
They're probably gonna do Mudryk left wing again. Like I really don't see that changing.
I would run it with him as well, because if everything we're being told is he likes proper wingers, touchline wingers.
Yeah.
I think this is Mudryk's last. This has to be like the season where he either shows up or we just have to, as fans, we just have to understand.
We're gonna have to hold the L.
We just gotta hold this one because we're holding on to him because a lot of people say you can see some of the attributes that he has. I think his passing is really good. His combination play sometimes can be okay, but everything else just lacks. And it's kind of sad.
He doesn't get on the ball enough for us to say anything.
He really doesn't, but sometimes I want him to take responsibility. Like when you look at like a Cole Palmer, if he's not getting the ball, he's dropping deep and he's asking for it.
Either that or he's making runs so they find him.
Mudryk kind of hides a bit. He looks a bit timid for me. Like, I want you to just take responsibility.
And this is something that Maresca could win a lot of points, is if he manages to teach Mudryk to run behind defenders. Mudryk is fast as fuck. I don't know why he doesn't make those runs behind defenders all the time. Because he'll beat them to the ball.
He
Yeah,
makes
Yo, he plays like he's
Sometimes.
Aiden Hazard, and he needs to play like he's Vinny fucking.
Junior. Thank you.
Yeah,
Vinny
thank you.
Jr.
But that's exactly what I mean. Though, if Maresca teaches him to consistently make those runs, bro, Palmer's gonna find you, and Cougar are gonna find you every single time. Those are techie players. They'll be able to find you on that pass if you make the runs.
Here's the thing,
Fucking Enzo, fucking Levi Colwell on that left hand
Bro,
side.
Caicedo, we have so many people that could find them on those runs, but he never makes them, and he's fast enough to beat almost every defender if he runs behind them. But he never
There's
does.
not a fullback in the league that can defend him if he's running.
I don't even think
If he's on the run, and he's trying to, there's not a fullback in the league that can.
Wait, what's the perfect example? I think it was the Brighton goal, right? Where Palmer literally played him through. He ran at the defender's back, beat him by a mile. That's what I mean.
Mhm.
Literally, if he just makes those runs consistently, if Maresca could teach him to make those runs, bro, we're cooking.
Nah, we definitely should. Who would you
Bro,
go?
and I do think that his crossing is underrated as fuck. Like, if you gave him the opportunity where you gave him the one, that's the thing that if we get Victor, that I'm very excited for.
You can stand that ball up.
With Mudryk himself, right? With Mudryk himself, if you give him the two options of getting to the byline and crossing, or passing it back inside to KDH and trying to connect, and you make it that simple, okay? You make it that simple, I think he can still be effective. Just due to the fact that his crossing and his passing ability when he touches the byline is actually really fucking good. Like, it's really good once he touches the byline. He wants to put a cross in. It's normally the cross is normally in a place where it's like, okay, I could see why we wanted this guy. Like, he got to the byline and he hit the cross and it looked like a good cross. And we just don't have anybody in there to latch onto any of these crosses.
Absolutely.
As a winger and someone who's played fullback a lot of his life, like you like when you're hitting crosses and your center forward is nowhere to be found, you have second thoughts on if I'm gonna hit this cross in the next time.
You just want to
You have a second thought about that shit.
And Osimhen by the way, Osimhen can score headers, which is a thing that, for example, like, you look at somebody like Haaland.
Bro.
Haaland does not have heading tech, but bro,
I'm telling you, he has like top 3 in the world at aerial duel rates. Top 3 in the world at aerial duel rates.
Number 2 for me when it comes to like heading, Morata was a great, phenomenal aerial.
Yeah, but I'm talking just aerial duels.
Aerial duels.
Winning your aerial duels. And it doesn't even have to be like a header from a cross. It's like the goalkeeper hits it deep to you. And you're one-on-one with that center back, and you're winning it.
Like Jackson versus Man City, like that type of stuff.
Jackson versus Liverpool. Jackson versus Liverpool, bro. Jackson versus Liverpool. Van Dijk ate him alive on those aerial duels. He ate him alive. And if anybody saw 2 years ago what Victor did to Van Dijk in the Champions League,
I saw that.
We saw that.
He definitely was.
He made him look like a child.
Yeah,
he had him running around.
Get off me, little boy.
He had him on the leash. He had him on the leash, son.
Didn't he like win that penalty off that Van Dijk foul too?
Yep. Dude, he was unstoppable in that game.
Yo, Joey, hold up. Joey, that's actually another really good point too. Is like, even taking apart from the Mudryk crosses, we see how much more effective the set piece cross has been. Imagine we have Osimhen to be on the end of the set piece.
Bro, I don't want to even put that into perspective yet. I don't even want to put that because that shit is that's where this all
that's game winners right there. Those are game winners.
This comes all into full circle once you add in Bruno. It's Bruno Cueva, right? Bruno Cueva,
yeah.
Yeah, when you put that together, right? When you put it all together with Victor's aerial presence, and not for nothing, like, it's not like the defenders in the Premier League are good, bro. Like, they're not good. Okay,
a lot of them are pace merchants, bro. They're just fast.
Well, not even that, bro. It's not even that. Well, that, and it's either that or the other way, where they're just strength merchants. Like they'll just try to like push people
Bro,
around. and, like,
it's PMP, pace
you
and
know
power.
what I'm
That's
saying?
it. They're pace and power merchants.
Bro,
PMP.
Leicester has three center backs over 6'5". You think Jackson's gonna win a single header against Leicester?
6'5" is jeez.
Like, bro,
Dude, they got
this
an Australian kid. They got an Australian kid who's 6'7".
The only one will be like what Disasi Badia Shield. Those are the only ones like on our.
And they're even shorter.
And they're still short.
They're just strong enough. They're just strong enough. So it is. They're just strong
Yeah, but they're
enough.
still short compared to those guys. Like they're still 3
Yeah.
inches shorter than these guys.
It's so funny because like
and
I think-
Sutar, they're 5 inches shorter than Sutar.
That's tough.
You see when you see how much of a fucking force Dan Burn is when we play against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Jesus,
He's
yeah.
a 6'5" giant. He
Yeah.
won't be able to do that against Victor. Victor just makes everybody look small. He's not even that tall. He just makes everybody look small, bro. When he's jumping and the way that I don't know if you guys ever played against Africans when you're growing up, bro, but
I am African. A lot of people
their legs always seem to push you. It seems like it's a thing that happens when you guys jump. Bro, it's like your knees always like push people away. It's like I'm trying to get close to you and your knees are pushing me away.
Right.
It's like I'm sitting. It's the weirdest shit, bro. And it happened. I played against kids from the Ivory Coast in New York. I played against kids that are from Cameroon and Nigeria, and every one of them has the same thing where I go up 1-on-1 for headers against them, and it's
not winning none of
hip bump. It's either hip bump, elbow, knee to the like.
You get the forearm into your back, forearm into your back,
forearm into the rib, forearm into the back, like bro. The back one is the one that pisses me off the most. I start swinging over that shit.
No, because that's the thing is like because they're tall as fuck. You jump for the ball, they forearm into the back, you fall forward, bro. Yeah.
You should have played with us because when I lived in New York for a while, and then we played at I think Crotona Park, that park for that college. So every Saturday, that's where we're at. If you had played with us, you probably would have been like, "Yeah, I ain't coming back." Because, dude,
nothing's worse than playing with Turkish people.
It was physical. It was a Saturday morning at 8 a.m. and people are just
but they're my favorite to play with because they I always played with a winger that knew when to take the deep run, and that's every one of them, everybody that I've ever played with from the Cameroon, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, they all hit that deep run. Like even if they're on the opposite wing, I'll swing it. As soon as they see me on the ball, they see me do it once, and they'll run. Everyone's running. I'm just like, perfect. Let me hit these deep. I get on the ball. I'm just sitting there. No one wants to press me, and I'm just pinging balls from left and right to people. It's fun, bro. I still play to this day. Like I have this intramurals team that is like there's like an app that you have to like sign up with. Like it's like an app that they have, and you sign up to go play. It's pretty dope. They got it all. They got a system for this shit now. It's dope. Back in the day, we just called 10 homies and we just go to the park.
Too far, man. If I wanted to play with these guys, it would take me about like an hour and a half to get there. I'm not doing
Dang, crazy.
Yeah.
I usually more play futsal. Like I don't play full field anymore. I did that in high school, but it's too much conditioning to be able to like play for that long on full field.
I smoke weed every single day. What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sit back on the defense and I'm gonna cherry pick on defense the entire time. I'm gonna be a sweeper. Like, what are we doing? That's exactly what's gonna happen. And I'm the one that's like running to the sideline, grabbing a water bottle every time we're on we're on offense. Like I'm like, yo, Keith, water bottle. Like, and the fuck thing is, people laugh at me because I'll play like a full 70-minute game, 60-minute game. And I'll smoke a joint during halftime. Everyone's gassed, and I'm just sitting there smoking a joint during halftime. Like,
that's funny,
I have like this unnatural way of being. Like, it must be just like from playing for so long. Of like, it doesn't even matter that I smoke weed or anything. Like, it was my first time on a pitch like 2 weeks ago. And I went on pitch, played 60 minutes, barely sweat, and it was like 115 degrees outside. Like that's I don't know what it is about me. When I go and play, I can just play. It doesn't matter how long or whatever. I just played for so long. I played sports for so long. I still do. I still walk. I still I still jog with my dog about 2 miles a day. But
Yeah,
like
it's not bad at all.
outside of that though, like I was sprinting 2 miles a day when I was in high school.
Yeah, I
know what
did.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. I did 2 sports in the same thing because I was like the thing I was really really good at was like was my endurance. Like I could do like a full 90 plus extra time. So the coach was like, he can only play me certain games because I'm not very tall. So I would like be played for certain games where we knew it'd be a long game or where I could pick out passes because that's the other thing I'm really good at is I would like pick out really really good through balls. So in the games where he wouldn't be able to play me because the other team was just full of people that were like 6'7". I would just join the track team and do cross country. That's it. And I got a couple medals too.
Oh damn. You're a
Yeah, bro, I was
professional.
good. I was good.
Nah, I
I
haven't
was a good
played.
runner. I was a good runner.
I haven't played in like 2 years, and I can still kind of like. I'm still nice like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
Just
nah,
make sure
bro.
you stretch your hips, bro. That's what
No.
happened to me, bro. Just make sure you stretch your hips before you go and play.
Because I play
bro.
8 and 10. That's my position. 8 and 10.
8 and
Because
10.
if I have the ball, you make the run. I'm going to find you.
Yeah.
That like absolutely.
I
That's
was just too short to play center back, so I always played left back.
yeah. Nah. Sometimes I
I had
play
a left.
6.
I had a wand. I have a wand of a left foot. I could hit it anywhere on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing.
I basically played 10 the whole time. That's it.
Yeah, I played left back and center back most of my life, and when I played a lot of center back and like when we were in playoffs because of an injury, and if it was like nowadays, if I was a center back and I was going through high school now, I would have gotten recruited to play center back just because of like how well I played it, and my coach told me that when I went back to visit my high school. He's like, I wish I played you at center back more because if you played center back more, you probably would have gotten into Syracuse like you wanted.
You should have played in the back row. my boy.
I could play, bro. I can play, and the thing is I had really good grades, and I had a scholarship to Syracuse just from my sports writing, so I could have went and played at Syracuse. So it's like this whole thing kind of now with all these short center backs that are coming into the professionals, like there's so many short center backs now comparably to what it used to be. Like you would have, it was Cannavaro and that's it back when I was growing up. Like Thiago Silva and that was it when I was growing up. Like it wasn't anybody else that you could have a model of to be
At a high level,
a 6-foot center back and play at a high level. Like it was one really high level person and that's it. Nowadays it's like every other guy is a wide center back. Every 5'10" guy can play center back.
That's the requirement for those roles now, man. You got to be aerially comfortable because you can't be.
I'm aerially comfortable. I'm just not over 6 foot.
Yeah, bro. You're gonna lose a lot of aerial duels.
I didn't though.
No,
I didn't though.
You were like,
no, it was more. I was just a physical. I would not let you get into your spot ever. You think you're gonna get in the air to your spot when I'm next to you? Come on now.
Yeah.
I was the last person you were gonna score a heading goal against on my team. The last person.
You should have.
You go up. Because I don't wait for the ball. I wait for you to jump.
And then you. Oh God.
I'm jumping. I'm jumping after you jump, and I'm jumping against you. So you're moving to. Yeah, I'm that guy. Like I'm not.
You are that Harry Kane, aren't you?
I'm not gonna like dunk underneath or anything like that. But like you jump up in the air. Yeah, I'm not jumping for the ball. I'm jumping for your shoulder. I'm jumping for underneath your shoulder.
That's foul.
Like that's
that's
football.
All right, guys.
Yeah. That's the dark arts. You don't know the dark arts. You're not playing football.
The dark arts. Yep.
Who are you guys gonna play in the 2?
I think he said we're definitely playing KDH this game.
KDH.
I think that's something that he said, so that's guaranteed KDH.
Okay.
I think he might start with Enzo, to be honest.
You think?
Enzo in the 8?
Yeah.
Where's Nkuku
I
then?
think,
Because he's definitely
I
playing
think he might
Nkuku.
start with either Enzo or Nkuku there, depending on
I think Nkuku.
scenario.
I think
So let's
Nkuku.
just wait. Did I just do KDHQ?
Yep.
All right, let's do KDH. And
I think it's gonna be
probably
Nkuku. I
right?
think it's gonna be Nkuku. Yeah.
Would you switch them like their roles? Would you put Nkunku here and KDH over here?
Nah, KDH plays on the left.
Yeah, he plays on the left.
Okay. Wait, why can't I edit that? Let's just pretend that's
You got to press it underneath. You got to press underneath it. Yeah, right there.
Here we go. Nkunku.
I've done these too many times.
That's gonna be Nani. That's gonna be Nani. That's
See, I would have played.
Yeah, it's gonna be Nani, but it should be Angela.
I really
Agreed,
would have played
agreed.
Angelo because I think
agreed.
he has the intelligence that Noni doesn't have.
I feel like if Angelo got the
but
opportunities that Nani got last game,
I've seen Nani. I've also seen Nani in those same exact situations that he was in last game win 85-90% of them. So it might just be like a fitness and sharpness thing with him.
this
still,
is
too.
literally what I was trying to tell people the other day because they were like completely writing Nani off, and I'm like, bro, Nani to me is a player where when he's on it, he's on it. He's doing really well,
Yeah.
and he showed that in games last season. The
No,
problem
he
with Nani
definitely
is though,
wanted some serious penalties last year.
I
But
forgot
think
who
people forget that.
I forgot who it was, but somebody on the stream said you're gonna know what type of game Nani has from like the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Completely agree, bro.
If
Like,
he's
if he
engaged,
start-
he's gonna have a good game. If
Yep.
he's disinterested,
If he
It's
can't
always
get bro,
an
if he
issue
can't
with
get the motor going, like
Yeah,
you might as
it's
well
it.
sub him. You might as well sub him. Like he's not getting it.
I think Noni was cooking till like we played Forest when Ola Aina just locked them down.
Yeah, bro.
But for the
Yep.
most part, prior to
Yeah, but
those,
Ola Aina had help in that game. It wasn't like it was Ola Aina and a center back next to him doing a 2v1 situation.
but see, Noni in previous games was still able to do it to other people. Like he got to like 4 games, 5 games on a bounce. Noni was actually like just kind of unstoppable for me, but the end product still has to be improved. Because if you can beat your man 10 out of like 15 times and you keep making the wrong decisions, then I gotta look at you like, you're not ready. Because so many times you get into those positions for me, simple cutback. He's too left-footed for me sometimes. That's my thing with Noni. Because those
Yeah,
positions,
I agree with that. And he's a little too selfish as
and
well.
he's a little too selfish sometimes.
Yes,
Even
yes.
the Celtic game, was it that game when he cut in?
Well, like
he
in
had to
that
do
game, he had a lot of one-on-ones, so I understand it, right? Like I understand the one-on-ones. That game really, I wouldn't. But there was too many times last year where I would say like he would take on his man, and then he would drive and try to like shoot it rather than try to look for the next man. Like
Yeah.
and
I
like
don't like
it
the
was
selfishness
it
part of
just
this
it,
game.
and I fuck with the gumption. Like
Yeah.
I you know what I'm saying? I like
Yeah.
I like the cojones that you got on you,
For
got
sure.
you, son. Like
Yeah.
like for sure. Like I get where you're coming from, but there
Yeah.
it has to be a balance, like
Mhm.
of like where you are, who you're against, and like where you are on the pitch against your spatial awareness overall is what I'm where I'm like, all right, you're starting to see you're getting closed down. Instead of passing the ball off as someone closes you down, you try to take 2-man on, and that's the type of decision making that like that drives me nuts with him.
I
And then
think
you
he
have the
needs
other
to
guy who
improve.
doesn't get the ball enough, Mudryk. He doesn't get on the ball enough. So it's like we have one guy who gets on the ball too much, and then one guy that doesn't get on the ball enough.
But I think for them too, just based on how again Maresca likes to set up, they're going to get a lot of ISOs this year. So we're going to really know if you can cut it or you just got to be moved on. And lucky for us, we have teams like Arsenal and United. We can still flip these guys to them. Arsenal will probably still pay the 60 M's for Mudryk just like they did for Kai Havertz. So like I'm not even worried about like
Mhm.
I mean, bro, if there's a team in this, if there, I don't want to say like Arsenal, but if there's a team that can get max dollars for the players that they want to get max dollars for,
us.
it's fucking us.
Yep.
And everybody
fucking
hates us for it, bro. They hate us for
They-
it.
Don't worry. I think
Oh, why
Mudryk in
can you
2
spend
years,
$1 billion? Well, we
we take it
sold
back.
$1 billion.
it's just so
Like,
We sold $1 billion.
Yep.
Like that's why we spent $1 billion, because we sold nearly 800 million that same exact year, that in that same year time frame. It's not like we overspent. We literally spent the same amount as everybody else in the end. Like total spend, we end up spending the same amount as everybody else, except we had a billion in spend because we sold over almost 800 million in players.
I mean, we
In that time
sold
frame.
the whole team. It's like
Yeah.
a rebuild. Half
Yeah.
that team from like 2022.
There's one player left from that. There's
James
two
and
players
Chilwell.
left from the Champions League team.
James
There's
and
two
Chilwell.
players left.
So I understand, like that's why we had to spend so much money, but it's also like, yeah, you had to replace a whole.
I mean, it was necessary. Like I think in
No,
an
it
ideal
was.
world, for example, we wouldn't have gotten rid of Rudiger. We maybe would have been able to hold on for Conte for one more season at least, because I think Conte, like Caicedo learning on Conte would have been nice for one season. But that's in an ideal world. Like realistically, we had to get rid of a lot of people at once.
Yeah, no, I think we needed that.
Like Rudiger and Christensen were the only two players that I was upset that we got rid of.
100%.
Free, too.
Rudiger even more. Yeah, Rudiger is the one that I was even more pissed about. than Christensen.
Rudiger should be the captain of this team right now.
Exactly.
We
Yep.
got rid of them for free, and you know what?
Rudiger should
So
be the
happy.
captain of this
And
team.
but this is another thing too. Like rival fans will never acknowledge the fact that like, oh yeah, but you guys just went through an owner transition, bro. The club got robbed. Like
Yeah.
the carpet was
That's
pulled out
another
from
thing
under.
They always
Bro,
conveniently
it's like-
leave out.
They act like it was like we were moving from one house to another. Nah, dog. They robbed our house, left us with nothing, and we had to
Yep.
immediately find an emergency house. What are you
Absolutely.
talking about? It's not the same situation at all.
You know
But
what?
they never acknowledged it, bro. They
Right.
don't want to
No,
acknowledge
No, they
it.
never
Like,
acknowledged the fact that like when Roman left, right? Like they never acknowledged the fact that after Roman left, like we were left with no board, no
Yep.
nut, like we didn't have no infrastructure whatsoever. And then that first window, everybody still hates us for it.
Yeah.
We have Cucurella and Sterling from that window. One good and one bad. That's
And
it.
we sold all those guys right back again.
We sold everybody else off. We got rid of everybody else from that window. Oh, Carney too was from that window, we could say.
Oh, that's
Who knows
somebody
what
else.
we'll get. But we'll make money from Carney.
Carney
We're
needs
gonna
to
make
step
money
up.
from Carney. We're gonna get positive money from Carney.
He
Yeah.
needs
We'll
to
get
step
30
up.
million for Carney. No, easy.
He
30
really
million for
step up.
Carney, easy, bro.
because against
Like-
Celtic, he had damn near 3 chances to score, and he
Yeah.
kept bluffing all of them.
also,
Yeah.
is that something that the team can practice? Because I swear, do we have anybody on the team that can like smack a ball into the back of the net from outside the box? Like,
James,
KDH.
Kunku,
KDH.
Cole
KDH.
Palmer can do it.
Cole
KDH
Palmer
is-
doesn't hold up. Cole Palmer doesn't smack
Five
the
out
ball.
of
He
five out
he
of the
texts it and he
13
curves
goals.
it. He places it.
It's finesse.
It's
His-
not-
his-
I'm
out
talking
of the
about somebody who
13
just
goals.
they see that ball, they smack it right into like you're talking about like full
RSM.
power.
RSM, 5 out of 13 goals KDH scored last year were from outside, and they were all
Good.
bangers.
Finally, bro. We need
Bangers.
somebody to do that because I
Like
swear there's been so many
bangers,
times
like
ball spills outside
just
of the box. The person
ripping
goes
the
to
ball
shoot.
from the outside.
Thank you.
Dude, you're gonna be so
Finally.
surprised on like the intelligence of KDH.
Bro, I hope
the
so. I
difference
hope
in
so.
intelligence, the difference in on the ball intelligence from KDH to Gallagher is gonna be astounding. Like it's gonna be like,
Bro,
like
Gallagher,
a
the bar
revolutionary
is on the
thing,
floor, bro. It's on the floor.
bro. Like,
Like,
yeah, I mean, you don't gotta tell me. I'm just saying.
I know. It's so good. No, I'm excited. I'm excited definitely. That's why this is a good opportunity. This is what I was talking about before you came on, Joey. Is that I said this game for me, I want to see like the new people that are coming in. So if we get to see Enzo, we get to see Caicedo, we get to see KDH, that's good. But I also want to see the mistakes from the last 2 matches. That is like the midfield going up so high that the defense gets exposed, right? I want to see that because like let's be honest, that Celtic game, we saw the same thing. They recovered the ball, passed it out to the wing, ball over the top, they're in.
Yep.
Like that needs to be gone. Like I don't want to see that at all this game. That's my
Who are you
main
playing?
goal this
Who are
game.
you playing next to Lavia in this game? Then I don't want to see James over there. Like I'm
It's gonna
tired.
be James.
It's gonna be
What do you
James.
mean
I
it's gonna be
agree.
tired
Listen,
of
I
it?
agree, but it's gonna be James. I agree, but it's gonna be James.
Like I'm
I-
really tired of this experiment.
Well, until we get
Me too.
Cucurella, bro, it's gonna be James or Gusto.
Oh my god, yeah,
It's just
Cucurella
plain
is gonna be nice. But yeah,
Who's gonna be a right center back?
probably what Fofana. I think it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be the same the way we started. Fofana, Badishio, Colwell backline. I think it's gonna be the same backline.
You know what? We need to switch Cole and Badia Show.
I would like to say. I would like to see that too,
He
personally.
can't
Yeah.
defend out wide for me, dude.
Because the thing is, Colwell just backs off, bro. He's like,
And I've seen Badia Shield defend wide spaces in a 3
Yes.
before, and he's
And
done all
he
right.
does well, actually.
he does well.
Yeah,
I mean, he
he's
does.
done all
He
right.
does way better than Colwell, which is
Yeah,
what we need.
I'll switch him out, and I'll just go Jorgensen just for the fun of it. I mean, he's already here.
It's gonna be Sanchez.
Ah,
It's gonna be Sanchez, yeah. As much, yeah, it's gonna be Sanchez. Like it is what it is, bro.
I would like to see Tossin in the middle, and if you're gonna play Cole on the left, though.
nah,
Agreed.
take
I wanna see
Cole
more
out of the
Sanchez,
team for
bro.
me, man. Because every time they went down that left hand side, we just kept getting exposed because Cole can defend out wide. Like for me, no, I wouldn't play him in there. Instead, I'll probably play Tosin on the right and just let Fofana come in the second half for me.
The thing is, like, this is the thing with Cole was like there are opportunities that he has where he could like cut off the attacker's run, or like the attacker took a heavy touch, he could like get his body in front of the ball, so the attacker doesn't reach it, but he keeps backing off and giving them space.
He
And that's
backs
what
up.
pisses me
Even
off.
that first goal, he could have closed that space just a little
Thank
bit
you.
better
Mhm.
and just been a lot more aggressive. But I guess it's preseason. Nobody wants to get hurt. So it's cool.
Understandable.
Like I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do too much right now because we have PTSD from last year when these guys were just our key
Yeah.
guys just got injured in America. So I get it, but still. So what will be your score prediction for this game then?
Oof. Club America's good, and they already started their season, bro. To be
Oh,
honest,
they did.
they did.
Oh, so yeah, we're probably gonna lose this game too, yeah.
I think we're gonna lose, but like optimistically, like tie. I think if we somehow win it, that'll be great. I think it'll finally get people like stop
Ease
crying
off
on
on this a
Twitter,
little
bro.
bit.
Like,
I mean, this team should surely be able to like keep this
I
game
think this,
a lot
yes, it
competitive.
should be close, please.
Like
It should not.
even if you lose, I still want like the quality to be high.
Mhm.
You know, we want to see what we want to see. We want to
Yes.
see the attackers getting in good positions, combination plays, ball recoveries, and stop playing with the ball in the back, yo. Because
Yo,
a lot
like,
of this goals we conceded. Somebody loses the ball in midfield, done.
Yeah.
Done. How many times did we get just 1v2, 1v3, 2v2s, 3v2s against Celtic?
and it was. I mean, even Celtic, it was even worse because it was like there was times when like Chukwemeka lost the ball, Badiashile lost the ball, Ugochukwu was losing the ball like right in front of the penalty box. Like, man, it was a rough game overall, bro. I can't lie.
I think we do this game. If I had to give you a score prediction, just because I think we're still kind of getting used to the whole system, you know, it's still kind of preseason for me. I'm gonna go like a nice 2-1 Club America. I just don't know who's gonna get our goal. Maybe Nkunku's gonna get that goal.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I probably go, you know, Club America 2-1. But I just want to see
Progression,
bro. Like I just want to see something different. Are we defending better? Is the shape better? How are we attacking? Like when I did watch some of like the Leicester City games from last year, like just their combination plays and whatnot, I was just kind of like, okay, I see what they were doing. And this, again, no disrespect to Leicester, this is with, you know, the quality in the team they had opposed to the quality we have. It's a
I
little
mean, they would have like average to lower mid level prem players. We have like very techie players at a world level. Like, you know,
hopefully the application is there. But listen, I'm gonna like, I already kept you on here for too long.
It's all good,
I
man.
appreciate you definitely.
I enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate that, but listen, we're gonna try to do this, you know, once in a while, whenever you're available. I'll send the link.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're doing something on your channel, let me know. I'll come in support. You know, that's how we're gonna build each other up.
Man. Yep.
Guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you guys after the game.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace out.
All right, bro. Let's see.